So in today's video, we are going to be covering the first promo we should be getting in FC25, along with all the other cards that have been leaked. So between now and the 6th of October, I'm going to be uploading a daily free eafc 25 trading guide. This will include everything to do on the web app to make as many coins as possible with both trading and investing. I'll be talking about the full release, what we expect to see regarding the market, and there'll also be a daily updated investing guide, all in there, updated every day for free. No gimmicks whatsoever, all you gotta do is click on the Google Docs link on the top link of the description. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is talking about the first promo we are likely to get in FC25, along with all the other card designs that have been leaked. We're just going to be talking about the market implications and sort of stuff we can expect at the beginning of the game to prepare ourselves before it all gets a bit crazy. So this, in the last 24-48 hours, we have had Road to the Knockout stage leaked, and this is traditionally one of the first, if not last year, the first proper promo, that we went and got ourselves at the beginning of October and the end of September. We can see that the Champions League card design's been leaked, we can see that the Europa League card design's been leaked, and we can see that the Conference League card has been leaked. So what we're doing is we're going to just talk about these, I guess, the sort of implications and the sort of stuff we got last year during the Road to the Knockout stage promo, and just talk about, again, what we can expect. So last year we can go and find that this promo team was, very, very nice. It was a 2-week promo, which is nice because, live promos are always very well taken in FIFA because, again, the cards stay active. At the beginning of the game, you're just seeing gold cards normally just lose their relevance very fast. But, well, I guess with cards that can actually get upgraded, they can stay relevant for a little bit longer. We also saw nice skill move increases, and I believe there also might have been some playstyle plus either changes or upgrades, if I'm not wrong. Not in the case of Bruno Fernandes. So, for example, Haaland previously had double 3-star, and they upgraded him to 4-star, 3-star. And they gave some other cards some really, really nice upgrades. Well, there is loads and loads of money to be made in this promo. For example, if I go and grab Dodo right there, we can go and grab Kalulu. We can see that basically cards rebound really, really fast in not much time. So, for example, we look at Dodo right here. He went from 50k to 80k in 2 days. And trust me, 20k like that at the beginning of FIFA is so, so good. We can see the exact same thing here with Kalulu. We can see that he went down, it crashed from 200k down to 140. I believe that might have been an SBC dropping in. And then he did 140 back to 220 in literally under 2 weeks. So the money in these cards are brilliant. And the nice thing about these cards is you can literally buy them for your team and hold on to them for 2-3 weeks. If you've got these decent cards in your team, they're going to keep making you money. Now, the content that EA also dropped with this was really, really good. I can probably scroll through right now and find some of the decent players, but we got ourselves loads of SBCs. We got ourselves a few objectives as well. Mario Götze was not an SBC card. Chihuahua. Oh, we also got ourselves the Women's Champions League cards. Now, interesting enough, these haven't been leaked, but I always thought EA made a bit of a mess of the Women's Champions League because it was just a bit all over the shop, so maybe they'll do it differently. So we got ourselves a Jonathan David SBC very early on. Wasn't very demanded despite having 5-star weak foot. We then had a few plebby cards like that. Di Maria card was really good. With the Diego Carlos very early on as well. I don't think this card was overly demanded as well. I think the 79 pace was a bit of a turn-off, and I guess no playstyle plus. But we had him very early on. And then a lot of these cards are promo cards. Reina was an objective player, nothing too amazing with 2-star weak foot and 4-star skills, but in the end of the day it was an 87 rated card very early on. But the main card that was interesting last year was Kudos, and Kudos absolutely threw the market. It's by no surprise if you look at that card with 95 pace, 91 dribbling. Other than that, he's a bit of a glass cannon. I guess 4-star skills, 3-star weak foot. Well, what did Kudos go and do to the market? He went and rose his link investments really nicely, and he dropped his comparable cards quite badly for them. So, for example, Tarek Lamptey was in Team of the Week 1, and if we go and have a little look at his graph, we can see that when Kudos was released on the 30th of September, what happened with Matey Boy? Well, we can see that, if we go back to there, the 22nd September, so he's already doing really well at packs. We can see that before Kudos came out, he was 70. After Kudos came out, he was 100k. So in just 2 days, he went up 30%. And then he kind of peaked a few days. He peaked on the Monday after. And then after that, I imagine there probably would have been more left or right backs in the game, especially from the Premier League, which would have dropped it. So you can see that his link investments did really, really nicely. But his comparable cards absolutely died in price. So for example, you had Diaby, who was already on a downturn because I guess the Ultimate Edition came out on the 25th. So he was already dropping, but with Kudos coming out, he went from... It probably would have been averaging around about 60k down to, I believe he would have gone close to low 40s. And then he rebounded a little bit, but then he never really came back from that. And that's because Diaby is a right wing, and that is because Kudos is also a right wing. And for those that didn't pick up as well, Lamptey went up because he's a Ghanaian from the Prem, and Kudos obviously is a Ghanaian from the Prem. So in terms of links, these guys link really well, but in terms of like comparable players, you know, these both were played on the right wing, and Diaby at that time was the most popular cheap Prem right winger. His price just got absolutely killed. Doesn't matter now because he's obviously off to Saudi Arabia. But nonetheless, I mean, he still would have dropped non-Premier League right wingers because obviously he's a very mainstream SBC card, and he just would have gone and replaced any really mainstream sort of cards. So other than that, the Champions League or the Road to Knockout Stage promo saw really, really nice rises on cards. But at the same time, we also saw really nice rises on these cards out of packs. But we also went and saw them drop the gold market quite a lot, and especially players who are comparable. I also remember a lot hype for this Bruno Gilgamesh, and then it was a bit underwhelming with, I guess, no playstyle plus. Although I guess, again, not many players did have playstyle pluses, and him being 250k in the first week of FIFA. But on the topic of the first week of FIFA, not only is Road to the Final a promo that has been leaked, we've basically got loads and loads and loads of other promo cards. If I can scroll down here on my leaking thing. We got ourselves the Serie A POTM, we got ourselves the Ligue 1 POTM, we got ourselves Showdowns, Flashbacks, End of Eras. And yeah, loads of cards that, I mean, I'll be honest with you, a lot of these cards are staples in FIFA. For example, Showdowns have been a thing for years now, Flashbacks have been a thing for years, End of Eras, and obviously POTMs have all been a thing for years. But yeah, going back to the topic of talking about stuff from the beginning of the game, one of the things we got at the beginning of the game was Flashback De Bruyne. We didn't expect this because we don't normally see flashbacks anywhere near this early. And he did rise, I believe it was 87 and 88 rated fodder really, really nicely for the first week, which we didn't expect because normally it takes a while for us to get these sort of premium, well-demanded SBCs. And we got ourselves De Bruyne. Now, it was a bit of an interesting card because, of course, it's pluses and minuses kind of all over the shop with this card. And that's because at the beginning of the game, what they do is they get the expensive cards and they go and release basically a cheaper version of them. And the idea is to flash back from when they were younger. And then what they do later in the year is they then go and give us low-rated cards, but flashbacks to really high-rated. So, for example, I think we got Bruno Fernandes during Team of the Year, and obviously his base card's 88, and that card got upgraded to a 93. We also have some other legendary cards. We got ourselves Saint Maxim, if I'm not wrong. This one came during Black Friday. Really well demanded, but I think it was only out for about 12 hours. Welbeck I don't think did come during Black Friday, actually, but yeah, I think it's semi-well demanded. And we've got a few other cards there. Obviously, the Kante, very, very well demanded. I believe that was a Team of the Year SBC. Wan-Bissaka, I believe, was relatively early. I think that was also another Team of the Year SBC. And yeah, so, and then we got these ones that we got near the end of the game, but weren't too interesting. Renato Sanchez as well. Always a legendary card. I think that's near to the Team of the Season time. So, nice to be getting Team of the Season back. What this can do is, it's a little bit like Kudos. It can drop the players it replaces. It can rise the players it links with. Obviously, St. Max is not the easiest player to link in, so I believe an Informed Kante would have been decent for this. Although I also feel that Informed Kante was re-released during Black Friday, so I think it was a bit of a contradiction in terms of what happened there. So that is Flashbacks, and I think in the same breath as Flashbacks, we might as well talk about End of Eras. We saw some interesting stuff happen with End of Eras, if I can go and grab the right one. There we go. So End of Eras, normally these come a little bit later because End of Eras, if you guys don't know, occur when someone either transfers a club or retires. So the first one we actually saw was at the end of the MLS season and the start of the winter transfer window, which was during January. So don't expect to see these sort of ones anytime before end of December, early January, because again, we get these because of the transfers that happen January, December, or the players who are retiring in December. Now, players like Rapone, this was really good for because she's actually like really hard to link up. She got a Playstyle Plus, and getting a Playstyle Plus in January, December was actually quite, well, it's semi-rare basically. And she was really well demanded with 5-star skills, 4-star weak foot. I believe this Rose Smith really well. These players from the more minor leagues that are hard to link up are really good for link investments. Just now, like a Ghanaian from the Prem is semi-hard to link up. The American women were again the same sort of thing there, and they rose their link investments. But someone like Hugo Lloris was quite detrimental for the price of goalkeepers. That's because goalkeepers were quite a neglected position when it came to promos this year. I think it's because they didn't quite work out the playstyle, so maybe with FC 25 and there being goalkeeper, playstyles, maybe they won't get neglected as much. Well, this Hugo Lloris, obviously Lloris transferred over to LA Galaxy. No, he didn't. He transferred to LAFC, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, so he basically got an end of era card for him playing in the Prem and obviously being a Spurs legend. So yeah, his card when it came out on the 11th of January, really, really well demanded. Everyone did it. But what it did do is it went and crashed the price of goalkeepers. So for example, you got someone like Czech who was 160k. The Lloris came out here, and he dropped from 160 all the way down there to probably would have been even sub 100 because of this SBC. So because they do release quite premium SBCs, you can see them dropping the players that they're comparing. They did actually rebound, I believe, after the Lloris SBC. I'd say the Lloris SBC probably would have been out between the 11th, probably would have been to the 1st, and then you can see him rebounding because I remember we then didn't get any goalkeepers and promos, and anything that dropped for it then did go and rebound after. But yeah, so we've had many legendary sort of end of eras again this year. What do we have? We've got the Thiago Silva, we've got the Royce, and of course we had the Tony Kroos, who was an objective. Do you know what? They neglected end of eras a fair bit more this year than they did previous years. Maybe that's due to a lack of players retiring or transferring or something, but yeah, normally we get a fair few more. I mean, obviously Thiago Silva, quite a legendary card, also had a very legendary card earlier in the year. That then takes us to the Showdowns. Now, I thought Showdowns came quite late into FIFA, but actually they came relatively early. In comparison to what I thought. So they came during the 30th of October. So it's around about a month into the game. The first one we got was Midrik versus Kulevevsky. And I'll be honest with you, this didn't do too much to the market because neither cards were really too well demanded. What really does affect the market is actually the minor leagues. So for example, if we have like an Eredivisie one, or we have sometimes an NWSL one. Because these cards because linking in a Prem card isn't as hard as linking in an Eredivisie card, you don't really see it having as many market implications. On top of that, they're not also as good value for money. Normally the Eredivisie, the Liga NOS, the minor league ones are really cheap and they can be really nice cards because EA know they have to make up for how hard they are to link into teams and the lack of demand because of, like there'll be a lot more demand for a Chelsea player than there will be I would say Porto, but Porto is quite big. Let's say we go for some smaller team in the Liga NOS, then the link investments work really well because these cards are normally hyped up. I remember a player called Kaiba who was a right back for Ajax and his card was insane, and he's probably one of those legendary Showdown players because of how cheap, how good his card was. So yeah, the impacts you can normally see are link investments doing really, really well for this. So again, Eredivisie players, you'd see if we had an Eredivisie Showdown, you'd see Eredivisie promo cards, Eredivisie heroes, and potentially icons if they're both Dutch rise because of how hard some of those guys are to go and link in. So that's Showdown being confirmed. Again, don't expect it for the first month, but then expect it after the first month. And the last thing we are going to go and cover is the POTMs. Now, we've got ourselves the Ligue 1 POTM. Now, sadly, if I can go and find the player, I might have got rid of him. Sadly, there we go. The first POTM last year was absolutely rubbish. And also the problem with the Ligue 1 POTM compared to the other ones is they drop them 3 weeks into the following month. So actually the games being played this weekend are actually going to go and contribute towards the first Ligue 1 POTM. The problem is we won't get that POTM until 3 weeks into October. Unlike the Premier League and unlike the Serie A, where we get them the second Friday of the month at around about 3 PM, 4 PM, for some reason they go for the third week of the month, and by then I guess the relevance of them playing well the month before seems a bit gone. But someone like Bulka didn't really do much to the market, but obviously we got that legendary, really early 92 POTM Mbappe, who caused a lot of market movements. Again, you can see it being released in the third week of the month on the 22nd. Well, what did that go and do for these cards? First off, we'll look at the gold one. What did he go and do to the gold one when it was dropped on the 22nd of November? We can see, even in the anticipation, he was crashing. We went from 2.6 million to 2.2 million. So top end cards were really hard to shift in terms of they weren't dropping in price until December last year. Here you go, you can see the December drop here. But Mbappe had a lot of panic selling. It did rebound a portion of it, but you can see that there was a fair few people who still chose to do that SBC over maintaining the gold card. We saw the same thing happen with his promo card, because of course this one's 92 rated, so it's the promo card. If we can scroll through to November, there we go. We can see that at least even in the anticipation, he went down from 5 mil. Closer, so it's down 300k in the anticipation. Then with the release, he literally went and dropped himself another million, and never really rebounded from that. So something to be very aware of. I mean, POTMs aren't a surprise to be re-released, but something to be aware of is promo cards being replaced by these POTMs and then dropping them. Something I didn't really expect but actually did end up occurring is people ended up actually doing the 3.6 million coin SBC. I didn't previously have people doing it because we've seen trends in the past that people didn't do it. But if I go to the 22nd November, we can see De Bruyne went from 60k all the way up there to 75k. And even stuff slightly lower rated such as Lewandowski, we can also see during the month of November went from 50k all the way up there to 58k. So yeah, there would have been nice price rises on there. So it's just something nice to know going into the game is even with SBCs, even when these POTMs are super expensive, they're still rising. Also nice to know, I guess, is all the information regarding road to knockout stages and link investments and replacing. So hopefully this, guys, has whet your appetite for FIFA or eafc 25. Road to knockout stage is a great promo for making money. It's also great to be kind of wary of it dropping cards. Be interesting how they do it this year. Obviously, this year they've changed up the system on the format of the Champions League. Previously, it was if you get 2 out of the 4 wins, you get an upgrade, and then if you go and get yourself, promoted out of the group, you get yourself an upgrade. Whereas again, this is just, you need a degree in something to be able to understand this. I mean, what is there, like 7 games now, and it's probably if you end in the top half of the group, top half of the, I don't know, the leaderboards or something like that. So it'd be interesting how they go and do that. But I do imagine, again, it being the first promo of eafc, and it should be good fun. So thank you very much for watching this video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.